So tell us your name, age, and your art.
My name is Quinn KV. I am 18 years old, and I am a soul singer.
What does it mean to be an Asian American artist?
To me, it means the same thing as it would be to be any kind of artist in general. Like as an expressionist, it's a form of art and music that we all connect by. It's sort of like a different language for us to immerse ourselves into. And but that's just my take on it. I think that the way I see that society views us, they see the same thing, but they still tend to put us in a box because of who we are as an ethnicity.
Why did you decide to pursue this career?
I decided to pursue this career because I was sort of born into it. My parents are both musicians. They play music, but they didn't really send me to lessons at all. They didn't give me lessons at all. But when I was 3, I would look around the house and I would pick up a guitar and I was like, hey, this is cool. And I also saw like The Little Mermaid or something, and I tried to sing after a Disney movie, and I saw that I loved it. And I just continued doing it because I just found myself losing myself into the art, and that was just the amazing, fantastical part of it.
How did your parents respond when you told them that you wanted to be an artist?
They initially shook their heads, and they were, it wasn't a direct no, it was more like, we want you to do something more practical, because that's just the Asian way of valuing life, or that's the way we live, and just everything has to be practical, and save your money and everything. So they definitely told me, get a backup career, and just make sure that you know what you're doing, because this is a hard industry, and they did mention up the fact that because I was Asian American, it was going to be even more difficult.
Do you feel that your race is keeping you back in this career?
In a sense, yes, because, like I said, I believe that we're still being put into boxes no matter what. We're misconceived in many different ways still.
What are the pros and cons of being an Asian American artist?
The pro is that I get to express myself as if I were just any other artist, regardless of race. And another pro would be to sort of represent my culture in a sense. Because I still believe that Asian American artists still need their breakthrough in this sort of career in the music industry. And a con would be just the way that America still views us and puts us in boxes, because we are essentially a melting pot, but not a lot of states or other places are still very open-minded to this melting pot, unlike the coastal regions like California and New York, where everything is diverse. So I think that everywhere else should, just be a little open-minded.
Can you tell us an instance where you ran into a particular obstacle in your career?
Aside from racial issues, no.
Okay. Have you had any obstacles in your career, especially pertaining to racism?
So I went to Stanford Jazz Camp, and it was a couple years back. I went with my Mexican friend. She was my roommate, and we were the minority. The majority was, of course, they were Caucasians, and in the group of vocalists, we were the ones that knew what we were doing, but so whenever somebody was lost, they would ask us what they were doing. They would just sort of use us, and then eventually they would just like neglect us because of who we were. We were just sort of like they were a bit not open to. Oh, I'm messing this one up.
Okay, keep going. Just keep going.
Okay. They just weren't accepting because they were brought up in a more they just weren't as accepting.
Okay. Is there a stereotype for Asian artists?
Yes. I believe that we are constantly seen as wannabes, like people who are just emulating the styles, like you see in Korea. People are constantly having surgeries to make their eyes look bigger and more European, but really, so that because of other cases, it just that's where stereotypes come from. Regardless, like they see examples of what happens. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
They see examples of my fucking mouth.
It's okay. Just keep going. We'll cut that out. Okay.
Okay. So
So just ask that question again.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one was that? Is there a stereotype? Wait.
Yeah, something about.
Yeah. Is there a stereotype for Asian artists?
Yes, I think so. Is there something beeping?
Yeah. Memory card full.
Oh, no.
That's okay. I've got my phone. Anyway.
Okay.
Is there a stereotype for Asian artists?
Yes, I believe so, because we are perceived as a lot of us are being perceived as wannabes, because a lot of us are like known for emulating certain styles and trends and fads of the pop culture and Western culture and such, because it's just seen a lot, so that the society just sort of takes those examples and just views us as those examples exactly, but really.
Why do you think there are so few Asian American artists in the media?
The reason why I believe there are so few Asian American artists in this area, because we simply just haven't had our breakthrough yet, and America is it's slowly getting to the point where we are getting more open-minded, because there are places where it's open-minded, like the West Coast and the East Coast, and that's great, but it's still sort of like a movement that's still happening, like sort of like the jazz movement, and now that's successful, and I hope that someday it'll come for us. That day will come for us Asian American artists.
In your opinion, what are the misconceptions about Asian American artists?
I think that we are sort of perceived as just simply doing what's structured, because our life is sort of always laid out on a schedule based on our Asian ways of living, our beliefs and values. Like, everything is sort of laid out for us. We have to do what our parents are expecting us to do, and that sort of leaves no room in some other people, and that sort of leaves no room for expressionism and feeling according to what society thinks of us. But really, there are a lot of us that are still I actually forgot what I was asked. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
What do you wish to see? In your opinion, what are the misconceptions about Asian American artists?
Okay. Okay. I believe that society views us as always having some sort of a structure whenever we're playing music, and there's not much feeling. You know, you see the the way that Asian life is lived. Our beliefs and values are always so structured. We have to do whatever our parents expect of us, and we take these lessons because our parents want us to take these lessons. But really, there are people in the Asian American community that really play the music to feel what everyone else is feeling as well.
What do you wish to see achieved from Asian American artists?
Like I said, this is still, I believe it's still some sort of a movement. So I wish to see this movement turning into a breakthrough in which we are classified not only as Asian American artists, but artists in general as expressionists, just as if we were any other kind of race, regardless. So I would definitely like to see more open-mindedness in this world, because we are a melting pot.
What is one thing you believe will help Asian American artists to be more noticed in the media?
I'm gonna be real here. It's all about connections, and
Okay. Do you want me to ask that again?
no, I got it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be
I'll just ask that again. Okay. What is one thing you believe will help Asian American artists to be more noticed in the media?
Well, I'm gonna be real here. It's all about connections, honestly. And there are a lot of people like Justin Bieber who are just making music just to make money. And there are some genuine people who literally, they make music from their heart, but they're not being noticed. And so it's all connections. And the reason why it's a problem for us Asian Americans is because when you're making connections, you're sort of socializing just so you can get a job. And socializing, with socializing, this relates to society, because society already puts us in a box, and that just makes us more difficult, and in general, it's an obstacle.
Okay, thank you, Quinn.